Hi everybody, I'm Mango and you're here with me today on Mango's Market. I've got my friend and amateur chef Josh Culbreth from KDRV Newswatch 12 watching out for you.
That's the tagline, correct.
Okay, so today we're going to be making a recipe created by my friend and fellow chef Juan. It's a modern take on carbonara with a twist, and honestly the only relation to carbonara is the bacon in front of me here. We actually got this today at the farmer's market. It's a bit fattier than what I'm used to, but I think it'll make for an interesting flavor, so always down for that. And then to spice things up, we're going to be using red chili flakes. I've also got basil for sweetness, tomatoes, which are heirloom tomatoes. We've got sweet yellow onions and green onions for garnish.
And garlic for life, correct?
And garlic for life, yeah. You can use spaghetti noodles, that's how the recipe was created, but I like a bit more carbs in my pasta, so we're going to be using linguine, which is a bit thicker.
Okay.
For those experienced chefs, I really love to use the pasta maker and make it fresh, just so everything's as fresh, not processed. But today we're a bit short on time, so we're going to make it simple.
Let's get the show on the road.
So to save a bit of time, we've got our pan already heating. For the first part, we're going to do a medium-high heat. So we're just going to start with the bacon. Got that nice sizzle, so you know it's hot enough. So because the pan's very hot, you're going to be careful not to just get too close. Grease burns hurt like a bitch.
I'm glad you told me that, because I was just going to grab into the pan, so I appreciate that.
All right, you can start stirring it if you want to. So if you're a health-conscious person, you can get rid of the bacon fat once it's cooked before you add on your other ingredients. In my opinion, the bacon fat, it really changes this dish and elevates the flavor.
And you said that typically it's not like thick slab bacon, right?
So yeah, this is a lot more thick than what I'm used to. So we might have to cook it a little bit longer before adding other ingredients just to make sure it gets crispy enough. Like what I say with all my recipes, nothing will ever be made exactly the same and nothing will ever come out exactly the same.
Okay.
It's kind of like life though. As long as you don't come out with a certain expectation, you'll always be...
Very, very meta, but very true. Yes.
You'll always be satisfied with the end result.
I'll tell you what, crispy or fatty, my mouth is watering right now just looking at this.
There's a lot of fat though. A lot of fat. People are going to look at this and be like, Jesus.
You could drain some of it.
No, I'm not draining any of this.
Gotta retain that flavor.
At least Southern people will like it, Josh.
I'm from Alabama. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.
That's what they say back home.
My fellow people.
But
Ooh.
they never asked ha yee.
I hope you put that in
Let's
there.
get it cut.
Okay, so I think about now it's the consistency we want it to be. You don't want it to be quite as crisp as regular bacon because we still have cooking time in here, and if you over crisp it, it might turn out a bit burnt or lose its flavor at the end.
Yeah.
So we're going to start adding the chicken now. This is 1 pound of bacon with 1 pound of chicken. I'm going to say the serving of this would be about 4 to 6 people. So at this point I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil because the base of this dish, the sauce, is olive oil based. Another thing that you can change depending on your preference is the amount of garlic that you add to this dish. I prefer a lot of garlic, so I used, I want to say 6 cloves. But I think if you want to be more conservative, you can use 3 to 4. So we're going to add in the onions next.
Okay.
So with the onions, they really don't need much time. You're looking for a translucent color on those. I want it to hold the hand of the dish. I don't want it to hug it. That was cute. Oh. I like to use a whole jar of tomato paste because I just don't like to waste food. So we're going to add in the tomatoes. And when you dice your tomatoes, if you freshly dice them, always, always, always save the juice. I think the juice adds a really nice flavor to it. And if your sauce is a little too thick, the tomato juice will kind of help thin it out a bit. And I like to add them at the end because I think if you add them too early, it takes out the crispness of the bite. And I like when you bite into a pasta dish to taste that tomato. So before we've added any salt, any pepper, any flavorings, I really like to see where my dish is at. So right now I'm getting a lot of tomato.
A lot of tomato.
And
But
so,
again, and usually I'm not a fan of tomato, but I think the saltiness of everything else in the dish I think it counteracts well.
I think in this dish in particular, I really want my bacon. My bacon and my tomatoes for me are the stars, and everything else should just be enhancing that flavor, including, like I said, my seasonings.
All right, so what have we done so far? Obviously the salt, and then that was some
Pepper.
pepper. Okay.
Okay, so the star of this dish, the red pepper flakes. So you want them to be pre-crushed. Okay, so this part's important on how spicy you like your dish or not. I prefer a spicier dish, especially because the tomato paste really kills the heat. So you can kind of be generous with how much you put in there. We're just gonna ditch the lid. I'm getting a little bit crazy here, but that's okay. Okay, so you're gonna wait a minute, and then I would grab some tongs out of that drawer. And once it the smaller ones are better. Yeah.
It's already very soft.
So really, normal noodles, you want them to take about 10 minutes to get fully cooked. So we're cooking these to al dente, which means there's still a bit of a bite to them. As you're waiting, you can use your tongs to kind of stir in the noodles, make sure that they're not getting stuck together. So you're just kind of picking up little bits of it with the tongs and dropping them apart.
Maybe give them a twist so you don't drop them exactly. Just right back in the plumber. She did say star, so.
Well, she said pick them up, put them down. You gonna backseat do this whole thing?
Dude, I've been wanting to.
You should coach us a little, because I feel like
I
I'm
don't
just...
want to be too involved, but come on.
Well, the whole point is I don't know how to do this. Shut the hell up, Jared. How about that?
Yeah, Jared,
Okay.
you little bitch. Sorry.
Good. Stay there.
And add more of this while he's there.
You know, Mango's thesis earlier was right. You're a dick.
So, we're about halfway through the cooking process of the noodles. I'm gonna get about a ladle full. So depending on how thick your sauce is at this point is really the deciding factor of how much you put into this. Because the pasta sauce is almost done, if you add too much, you'll have to turn on a higher heat to cook it down. And do another little test there. You're gonna notice that there's a lot more heat. The red peppers are starting to really break down into it. So I'm gonna start to add my basil. So when I use basil, you can definitely use the seasoning. That's always an option. I prefer fresh basil.
No, that's a good cough though. It's because the liquid went down the wrong windpipe. I think that's the perfect amount of heat. I really do.
Okay, so now that the basil is incorporated, you have a really finite amount of time before the noodles go from al dente to fully or overcooked. So you're gonna quickly use your tongs and start to put it into the pasta sauce. Now there's different ways of doing this. Some people strain it first.
Yeah, is it good that I'm putting like this excess liquid into it?
Absolutely, that's exactly why I like to put it directly in. Oh God, please don't kill yourself. Do you want me to do that part?
Yeah, probably. It wasn't the actual water, it was the steam. Oh my God. I'm so sorry.
Do you want me to do it for you?
No.
Okay.
No, thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna turn up the heat. You want it to be at a nice boil. Just a little. And that's to cook the noodles the rest of the way, incorporate everything into each other. There's a fire, it's fine. It's fine. It's probably just burning those noodles have dropped. Put the tongs down.
Just add it to the pile over there.
Now there's a long-running debate of plating your pasta in a bowl or on a plate. And
I've heard about this one. I'm pretty sure it was brought up in the Lincoln Douglas debates. Lincoln was very pro bowl, and Douglas was very pro plate.
You're gonna get a nice little scoop of your sauce, put it directly in the center of your plate. Smoosh.
Gotta have the sound effect in there, right?
Or else they don't know. And I'm just getting a nice swirl. And the spoon is just to help plate it. And then you're gonna gently go over.
Ah.
And you see how nicely the sauce coats the noodles? That's how you know that it's a thick enough sauce. Okay,
And
now,
Spoodle?
no spoodle. You're gonna put the carving fork or whatever. Yep. And you wanna get a good twist of noodles on there.
And then put it on spoodle?
And the spoodle is really just to help,
Guide it?
but keep spinning, keep spinning. You want all that, see, look how nice that looks. Okay. Now you're gonna gently nudge it onto the plate. Nice.
It's not as bad as I was anticipating.
So much. Again, like I mentioned before when I started choking on the chili flakes, but I think it really is the perfect amount of spice for a dish. Little kick, not overwhelming. There's a lot of different flavors here, and I feel like they all come together really nicely.
Yeah.
You're gonna force me to say something that I didn't think I was gonna say, in that I like the tomatoes in here.
Oh, really?
I think
Surprising.
they add the perfect amount of sweetness to it.
And the paste, the tomato paste, you
Yes.
taste that in it?
They really collaborate together nicely.
I really love the bacon that we used for this one, I think was perfect.
Yeah. But the real carbonara was the friends that we made along the way.
That's Jared's turkey.
Okay. This is actually really fucking good. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, thank you so
I don't know
much.
how you feel, but I feel like.
This is incredible. I wanted to pig out, but I was trying to like.
Oh, I didn't even care. I just went
yeah.
for it. I was like, on camera, off camera. I don't give a fuck.
God.
Ashley, are you hungry? Get some La Croix.
I think I'm actually gonna try to make this too.
It's really easy. I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy.